Hey everyone, this is my hand, and behind this hand are all of the Lego Batman movie collectible minifigures from the blind bag series. Before I show you those figures, I just wanted to warn you, there will be movie spoilers amongst these figures. So if you don't want to know anything about the movie, don't watch videos like this one that are about stuff from the movie, because some things may be spoiled. So I'm going to move my hand now. You've been warned. There they are. It's the full series. 20 figures, which is a lot to have in a series. I think usually they do about 16, so this is a whole extra column worth of figures. Let me get right into them. I'm going to show you every single one of them up close. And what better way to start than with Fairy Batman, or should I say it, Fairy Batman. Yeah, making that tutu look good. And he has the black tights on underneath, or the black leggings, a little bit of black up top as well, kind of the undersuit. Looks like he has placed this on over his regular suit from just a little bit of the hint. I have no idea what the canonical context for this is, but we'll see in the movie. This is absolutely ridiculous, and it's kind of awesome, I have to say. Especially getting that pink hood. I can't say no to this thing. He's a little bit confused about it himself, not sure what he thinks about it, but I think that after a while he will get used to it and realize that he has just started something new. All right, let me move on to the next one. How about a bad guy character? This is Arkham Asylum Joker. Has some nice little creases in the printing on the torso, also the hips and the legs. I think that's just a regular brown color that they used for the slightly darker tone. It's got a little bit of color underneath his eyes as well. Comes with a set of handcuffs. And this does, you can see, he does have an alternate face. Good printing on the back of that torso. I like the typeface that's used there, and there's the alternate face. A real extreme frown. Here's how that would look with the hair on. Really doesn't block anything, so that's pretty extreme expression. Here's another Lego version of Harley Quinn as nurse, and she has the patient file or chart there for the Joker. She has written and drawn on it a little bit. Pink hands for the gloves. I don't think you get pink hands all that frequently. This little nurse's cap right here is actually a separate piece that is inserted into the hair, and it's very dainty. It has just it's easy to drop it. It has just a little mini peg on it that's used to attach to just that small hole there. So be careful if you get one of these. You see what it is when you open up the package. Be careful that that's a very small piece and it's easy to drop it out and to lose it. I don't like the printing around the arms on this one where the pink stops. It just looks really cut off there. The lines going around the side for the stripes going through the shirt don't bug me how they cut off. I think that's okay, but the pink part does. Around the back as well. But the rest of it is done pretty well. Dual molded legs here. I love the hair, just the mold of it. No alternate face for her, but I do want you to see the rest of the face, just so you can see the rest of the expression, because a lot of that does get kind of cut off from the top with the bangs that they have on this version. What about the Commissioner Gordon here? They actually went semi-realistic, I think, with the print style, because he's looking disheveled with the whole torso print. Good printing goes down into the hips and down to the legs. Becomes a little bit more difficult to see just because there's not a lot of contrast there, but it's there. And there's good printing on the arms as well. See, again, with just a little bit of the cloth creasing that's been printed on there, that works nicely. And those are dual molded arms, so you can actually see where a little bit of white print comes below the white plastic. Changes color just a little bit, but again, that doesn't bug me, and just kind of ends right there. You can see that's probably just the limit of how far they can stamp the paint onto these with the current techniques available to them. You might see some that are actually lined up a little bit better than that. Another good print on the back. Not a whole lot going on with it, but what is there is pretty cool. Hair looks pretty good, And for this one, no alternate face. You will see no alternate faces for most of the figures in this series, but that shows you just a little bit more of the lines across the forehead. Here's the Zodiac Master with the medium blue colored head, but then the lighter blue color for pretty much everything else. It's kind of like a powder blue. Lots of printing of the Zodiac symbols done in gold, including along the sides. So you can see some here on the arm, also on the leg. Let me move this up so you can see that a little bit better. On the leg comes with one fish in a medium silver color, or the gold print around the back, and also comes with a crab to represent the Cancer sign, astrological sign, and more prints across this side. So for what it is, I think it's pretty well done. You know, it's a little bit limited in the three-dimensionality, I'd say, of the figure. You know, it looks a little bit flat, but that's okay. It comes with cool accessories at least. Here's another of the lesser villains. This is March Harriet. They went pretty extreme with the body shaping that they put into the print on the torso for this one. And she has print on both arms. So you see it here. Also really good printing, or consistency of printing going around the legs. You can see that from the front and from the sides, that interface between the two right along this front corner is lined up pretty well. And she comes with a classic SMG. Yes, it's a Tommy gun. Tommy was the Thompson SMG, submachine gun. More of that same extreme shaping for the body around the back. No alternate face for this one, but at least this bunny hood that she has with the open face has no real specific printing to it that ties it to this character. I think that a lot of folks are going to have fun using this piece on other characters to make custom things. All right, time for another Batman. This is Vacation Batman, and he comes with the duck inflatable tube, which actually fits around his waist. I'll take that off and show it to you. But I also want you to see what it looks like with everything on. It's got the little tail that kind of sticks up there. This is expertly molded. Again, with the creases, they're getting much better with, you know, approximating. In this case, you know, it's made of vinyl, but you know, it's just like with cloth, where you get, you know, folds of things that fold up on each other. The goggles here are molded in to that version of hood, and that has just his regular mouth showing through. Beneath that, it's actually just a Bruce Wayne face. They didn't even go with the, you know, the dual kind of design that they usually do for these, because they didn't need to. Those goggles do not come off because they're all just connected in there. No alternate face for this one, but I did mention that I would show you this piece, so I can take that off like so. There you go. That's how they did that. Just fits right in there, just like the utility belts do. And this version also comes with a pair of flippers, like so. So you can put those on his feet if you want. And there's just no good way to store them on this regular collectible minifigure plate. Here's another silly villain. This is Calculator. He has the keypad on the front. That is a printed piece. I believe it's brand new and exclusive to this figure. And it's got the display, LCD, basic classic LCD display for his visor. There is a face under there, but I want you to see the rest of the figure as it's fully built first. Doesn't come with any other accessories or anything to hold on to. If you want, you can take the keypad off, since it is just a tile, and place that in one of the hands. There is print across the top of this helmet. I believe that is new and exclusive. And you can open the visor as well, because it's just the standard design, so you can see part of his face. Now let me take off his armor. Aha, okay. He's actually pretty built underneath there. He's got a full superhero slash supervillain suit on, printed around the back, even though a lot of that is generally covered up. Yeah, this is pretty nicely done for something that has such a big piece of armor. Not uncommon for Lego to do this, to, you know, actually put full prints underneath something that's normally going to be covering them all up. But this also has the dual molded legs. I think this is the first time we've gotten that lavender color dual molded with white like this. You saw Commissioner Gordon. Here is Barbara Gordon, the daughter, And this has an especially nice headgear piece. It is molded with two colors of plastic, with the dark red and the dark blue. And then they add on the paint application that goes all the way around for the black, and then they add on the gold on top of that. So it's a pretty snazzy piece. And she gets printing on the side of the arm over there. She gets an accessory. That's a printed piece there. And I think that the prints on the torso are looking pretty good as well. You know, that sash goes around nicely angled and manages to avoid going down to the hips. So I'm fine with the hips and legs not having any print on them. Let me take this off so you can see the rest of her eyebrows. It's a little bit of a different expression on her face when the eyebrows are fully exposed like that. No alternate face for this one, but that's it for that. Pink Power Batgirl is another completely different character from the one that we just saw. A very major departure there. Wanted to give you a lot of contrast, you know, from one figure to the next. She comes with a pink Batarang, which I think would actually go really well with the fairy Batman. Her cape is kind of shimmering on this side. That's nice. Not on the other side. It's a little bit darker here. There's a little bit of a ruby look to it almost. Not quite the right color, but see, this side is just like almost matte, a little bit satin, but she gets a little bit of printing around the wrists for a little bit of, you know, like wristband there. And if I take this off, again, those eyebrows come through once you take this off. And she has an alternate face, because I guess she's going to be more of a major character, unlike somebody like, you know, Barbara Gordon, who's, you know, just kind of a token child character, you know, child of one of the major characters. But yeah, it's good to get two prints there. And if we take off the head entirely, sorry about the disturbing imagery here, but there is more that you need to see. The lack of any print on the back. So maybe disappointing, not really, because you're always going to have the cape on, I think, for this character. Just change the head around, you know, swap the head around, and I did want you to see the alternate face with the hair on. Now this I love as a minifigure. I don't know about it as a character, but as a figure, there is so much yes about this to me. It's called Eraser, the character is. Has that whole pencil theme with the vertical striping. Comes with a printed 2x2 tile piece that just has a list of things to erase, and I'm not sure if in the movie he's going to actually add anything to that list, or if it's just all going to be erased, because he's the eraser. So if he has a list, he's going to erase it, so he's probably going to write with an eraser. His headpiece is a new mold. It's actually yellow, or that school bus yellow, the orangish yellow underneath. And this is just a pink 1x1 round tile piece. There you can see the yellow coming through, and you just have silver going around it, and the eyes are printed on there. This is a very intriguing, sorry about the tile there, very intriguing part to me. Look at that. It is 1 1/3 bricks high, and it is the same diameter as a regular cylinder piece. They could have done this with just a printed cylinder, like an old IG-88 or something, but they actually created these ridges on the sides and the two colors. It really fascinates me. Batman time again. I think this would be like a me, Batman kind of thing. It's Clan of the Cave Batman with his cheetah robe on, garb, and I don't know if that's supposed to be bone or stone there that's carved for the necklace. The cape is actually a little bit different color on one side than the other. Here it's a little bit lighter, just really matches up with the standard reddish brown color. On the inside it's a little bit darker, which is a little closer to your dark brown color. Dual molded arms here with printing on both sides. Print goes all the way around, or at least around the front and side of each of the legs. And he's got, you know, a face underneath there. Let me take some of this stuff off. Just one face for this one with the traditional Batman style with the 2 tiers to it. But let me take off the cape as well. Does that make anything more clear? Not necessarily from this side. From the back, absolutely nothing to be seen. So no alternate face and no printing on the torso. And this is another case where I think that's fine because you're always going to have the cape on, or at least 90% of the time, most folks are just going to have a cape on. Red Hood has a red hood on. That is pretty dang silly. And I like it. I like the audacity of it all. Just an existing piece, right? To cover all this up here. Take that off and, ooh, that's actually a nice print, right? It's simple, but well done. Well done indeed. Excuse the little bit of crossing over from DC to Marvel, but that could also make a good basis for a Deadpool figure, right? A little bit of print on the front of this armor piece, but look at this beneath here. No alternate face on this one. Doesn't need one. You're only gonna have one expression for this guy, but if I get this off, there we go. I'm gonna actually leave the cape on. There's no print on the back of this torso either, but that's clean. Look at that. Very dapper. The contrasting color is purple, which is also brought through into the hands, representing gloves there. And in those hands, a couple of realistic guns. I thought Lego didn't do realistic guns, but there are a couple more. There have actually been many different molds that look similar to this semi-automatic pistols, but a really good looking figure just like this, even out of the context of the silly world of the Lego Batman movie. I think that this is a good collectible character for DC Comics fans in general. Power, unlimited power. Wait, wrong everything really. Yeah, forget I said that. This is Mime, or the Mime, actual character from the DC Comics universe. Very obscure indeed, with very not force lightning coming from the fingertips there. This character is supposed to have shock gloves on that will shock you if you come into contact with them. So it's a little bit of a stretch to have the electricity coming out, but I get it. And it's fine to Lego things up a little bit. Surprisingly, this is a very realistic depiction of this character, at least of the most famous incarnation and drawing of this character that I found. It looks very proper. A shame that we don't get a second face for this. Of course, they couldn't have pulled off a second face with this design, with the style of hair used there. They could have included a second head to give you a different expression, but they probably decided this is too obscure of a character to justify the extra price of that extra little bit of production. Glam metal Batman here actually could be related to the appearance, the canonical appearance of the Mime, if that's the direction they're going with it. I'm not sure if they're actually going to do that in the movie, but that would be an interesting little twist if they did that. He is made with some actual metallic pieces, so the legs are dual molded with kind of a medium metallic silver, and also the arms are, of course, the kind of pauldron pieces are as well. You could put the cape on beneath that shoulder armor piece, but this is the way they show it actually going on. Makes for kind of a strange hump back here, just the way it folded up, but looks pretty cool from the front. Has a new print for the axe there, the bass guitar. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty metal. Excuse the term, but I really think it does. And I very much like the print on that cowl right there with the bright silver color. It's lined up very nicely. It just looks good. Also, the expression on the face with the mouth works out really well. When you take that off, it's not quite as useful as a face, and just doesn't have as much emotion behind it, if you ask me. But with this all together, I think that works well. There's no print on the back of this one whatsoever. A little bit of print on the sleeves, just at the ends there, but no print on the back of the torso. It's just plain black, which is, again, fine to me because it's just covered up by default anyway. Now this one is not a Wolverine Batman mashup. In fact, properly speaking, it's not even looking like a Wolverine mashup, because this character, Catman, from DC Comics, came like a decade before Wolverine. So, proper character, again, and interesting figure. I think this one's actually going to be pretty collectible as well, because they did render it in a fairly serious form. It doesn't look silly here to me at all. Dual molded legs, good color scheme, and taking that face off, or the hood off, that's pretty proper as well. Again, not trying to look silly. I'm not sure if they will ever do another Catman figure after this. Not sure if they will need to. This is good. Another good score for collectors, I think. So this is Orca, a character that probably didn't need to ever exist in the actual DC Comics worlds. Of course, that's probably why they brought it into the Lego Batman movie, to make fun of it. However, as a figure, this doesn't work for me, because that's a shark. This is a shark head, shark body, shark. I don't care how many splotches of white and black you put all over it. It's a shark. It's not a killer whale. I cannot unsee shark in this. So that's just, I don't know, that's unfortunate. The head is an interesting one. It's just a big mouth. All right. Okay, that works. I mean, it's not supposed to be a person with a mask. It's supposed to be a person who has undergone gene therapy to become part Orca. But again, this to me is just a funky looking black and white shark. So I am very glad that Dick Grayson here comes with the official printed Lego shark repellent bat spray. Yeah, they did it. That is epic. To actually have that not only brought into the movie, but brought in as an official printed piece, that is something very, very special. It's the main reason to want to collect this figure, I think, is just for that piece. Which is a shame, because the rest of the figure is perfectly fine. Good prints, especially for the sweater there. They've got the funny goggles on, of course, but it's all about the shark repellent bat spray. Come on. Good print on the back of the torso as well. But it's still all about shark repellent bat spray. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me there is a better reason to get this figure than that printed dark blue 1x1 round brick cylinder piece. Not a bad face on this one. Works with the hair, or the goggles off, the glasses off. I call them goggles because they look like goggles. No secondary face on this one. They went pretty subtle with the dimples on this one. Very small, and such a close color with such a small amount of print that it's kind of nice. I'm glad they didn't put too much detail on this, and I hope that they will at some point offer up a hair piece for this Lego Batman movie character that just has hair and no glasses. Here is the DC Comics character King Tut. It's not supposed to be actually King Tut. It's supposed to be a white dude who thinks he's King Tut reincarnated. And as that character, not as an actual King Tut, but as that character, this is pretty perfect. I don't see anything here they could have done better than this. This is nice. Good printing, good quality printing. A little bit silly with the face, which is fine. Really goes in with the context of the movie. That striping along the side, he's got his asp here, and also his staff striping along the side of the leg is very well lined up there. No print on the back of this one to see. Oh, that's kind of funky how that kind of dimpled in there, but no alternate face either. This actually works pretty well if you get that base of that headgear piece to fit into that hole. Alternately, you could just squish this down, but this was totally a mistake, an accident, but I think that actually works out well and avoids doing too much damage to the cape piece itself. And I have saved for the end the glorious, the amazing lobster-loving Batman. This is my favorite character in this series. Wow, lots of printing, eh? Printing on the side of the arm, it's pretty intricate. Printing on the side of the legs, that's pretty intricate as well. Both sides. Printing around the back. Dual molded legs. They actually did a pretty good job here of bringing the flesh tone up into the black section of that. They got it opaque enough. You can see the difference, but you don't see too much of the black through that. So I think that's pretty well done. Also, the part of the chest that's visible there, that's open, has enough opacity to the paint application there that it doesn't show the dark red through. Well produced, just the regular, you know, headgear piece, cowl face. It's perfectly fine, very normal. No alternate face for this one. But one of the great things about this is the lobster. I'm going to actually take that off and first show you the dish, which is an exclusive printed piece for this character. Got a little bit of I guess hollandaise around the edges. And is that a leaf of lettuce or cabbage? It's probably more likely cabbage under there, just to hold the lobster. And there is the lobster itself. This is Fantastico. I love this. I always like it when we get new foliage pieces or animal molds from Lego, especially within the minifig series. But this, you know, it's got some personality to it. It's definitely Lego-ified. It's not trying to be too realistic. On the underside, just one single anti-stud, and it stands up from the surface, so you can put it onto a full studded plate, and you know it has enough clearance. You can put it on top of a hand. It can be held, you know, on a minifig hand. It just looks really cool. I very much hope that they will release this in other sets in the future. This will become, you know, something that's not impossible to get, because, you know, those Lego Batman movie figures are not going to be produced forever. They're going to go out of production, and then their prices on eBay and Bricklink and everything are going to go sky high the older they become. And if this is only available from this particular figure, Lobster Lovin' Batman, that'll be a shame. I hope they make more of these. What an eclectic selection and collection of figures. Many of them very, very silly, and owning that silliness. Some of them surprisingly serious and collectible outside of the context of this particular movie. Some interesting new parts, some interesting recolors, very interesting prints. Overall, I feel like it's very worthwhile that they decided to dedicate an entire collectible minifigure series to this particular theme. I think it was a good decision. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy a lot of the figures from this series. But that's my opinion, and I now turn things over to you. I want to hear what you think about this series on the whole. If you think it's dumb, go ahead and say so. That's cool. I really do appreciate and look forward to different opinions because they exist and they are valid. If you like the whole series, let me know what you like about this series, and especially which are your favorite figures amongst these. I already told you I prefer Lobster Lovin' Batman myself, but I also very much like that Red Hood, Eraser, and Fairy Batman. Fairy Batman. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. I'll talk to you again soon.